दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Bhattacharjya Express, Rutherford Station, Netaji Bhawan.
LSG tastes victory after 33 days. They end their losing streak and they also end Gujarat Titans' winning streak as well. This is how it all panned out. 235 runs, more than enough on the board thanks to Mitchell Marsh's splendid 100 runs from Puran and Markram as well. And Gujarat tried really hard. Valiant effort from Shubman, Shahrukh, Rutherford and Shahrukh Khan. But I suppose the mountain was just too tall. And it was always going to be difficult as soon as the three Sherpas were dismissed by the LSG bowlers. You're watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live, and we're in the company of Joy Bhattacharjya and Pommie Mbangwa. 236, often possible, not tonight. LSG did what they had to do. Well done.
Yeah, I think in the course of a chase of 230 odd, it's not so simple. If you lose your way, it's difficult to find your way back. And for a long time, it looked like they were well on course. But as the bowling side, what you get is you keep getting some sort of an opportunity if you just chip away. So, yeah, the batters do their job and set it up in that way, and it provides the cushion for the bowlers as long as they kind of stay in it.
LSG going into the halfway break with 235 in the pocket would have perhaps said to themselves, even if GT bat out of their skins, we just have to make fewer mistakes because the asking rate will do the job.
Exactly. You've just got to let the asking rate pressure come to them. But I was just looking. I mean, actually, they were very, very close till the 17th over. Till the 16th over, they're still scoring. It's at about 14, 14 and a half. Just once, it dipped to under 13. And then after that, over 17, 2 wickets go down, 4 runs, and then one after the other. Just see that 7.4. That is the real differential. They just got 37 runs in the last 5 overs and they lost 6 wickets.
They outscored Lucknow between 11 and 15. Take a look at that. 63 versus 68. So the chase was being made there.
Yeah, but it's to make up for the period before because you've got to try and catch up. And that's why I say, you know, with the batters having got to 230 odd, as the chasing side, you're talking about scoreboard pressure, you're talking about the rate of scoring required. You can't really afford to make an error. And the later you make the error, the more unlikely you are to actually catch up and get back in. Because what it then says is all the new batters who are coming in have to come in and be at the pace of the game. So already when you start out, you're kind of needing, you know, 10s, 11s, 12s. That's not so easy to do. Even on surfaces that are quite good, you're not playing against a bowling machine. You're playing against a bowler who's trying to prevent you to do that. So, it was a tough ask. If they'd got there, I think we'd all be sitting here going, do you know what? I don't think anybody can beat this side because, you know, all problems solved, no issues. But today has ended up for GT as a day kind of with a few problems or a day that they'll chalk off as we didn't quite do this well or that well or whatever. We're nearly there. We maybe need to reset again and go again.
Only the third loss. How do they look at this? Because do they say, all right, nudge at the right time, wake up call at the right time? Or do they say, oops, have we lost that momentum that could have helped us finish in the top 2? Because now that may not be a certainty.
No, it's not a certainty. It's definitely not a certainty. I think all 4 sides have an opportunity to go in. Mumbai is being the least, but all 4 sides have an opportunity to go through. And I think the interesting thing about today is I still think they got a lot right. I think Shahrukh and Rutherford batted really well for them. I think Shahrukh Khan batted really well for them. That bodes well because those two, they're important. They got good knocks there. They kept the run rate for a long time. They kept the run rate under control. They kept the run rate 14, 15. It was at 15, 15 and a half. They brought it down to 14. It's just that after that, once you lose a wicket like that, once you lose set batters on a crease like this, you're bound to have collapses. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Today was an opportunity for the likes of Rahul Tewatia and Shahrukh Khan to do the job. Credit where it's due. Shahrukh, 57 or 29, pretty good. Tewatia just having a forgettable season. I don't know what's happened to him.
Oh, I think what is the quality of the opportunity you get? As I said, the later things happen in terms of errors and batting in that position where Tewatia bats, the more difficult the job is. So he comes in, I'm trying to think when he comes in and what the rate is that's required at that stage. Rutherford goes out and he comes in and he's got to join Shahrukh and he's got to try and go at the rate of the partnership of those two.
Yeah.
And in an attempt to do so, he holds out. And that's going to happen every now and again. And that's his job, by the way. So if in the lead up to all of it, he doesn't manage and I think they'll keep faith in him because he's shown that he can do it, even though they've been kind of fits and starts. If that then happens in the final, if and when they get there, then you're okay. And you've got to, I think you've always got to evaluate it for what it is. And when I say the quality of the opportunity, you look at a Romario Shepherd innings, you look at a Tim David, and I'm speaking finishers because that's what he does, right? A Rutherford early in the season where they were sort of holding him back. And I was saying, when there's 6 or 7 to go, maybe they'll bring him in. I think with the way this is all going, with Butler not available for the playoffs, it's just going to be kind of a natural slide up. That's why he comes in at number 4 this time and has to play a longer innings. And so we'll kind of try and play that Butler role. But does that mean Tewatia then slides up as well or not? That's something to sort out for them. But yeah, I think it's a tough job being that player who needs to come and whack it.
Fair call, because he came in when the score was 182 for 4, 16.1, which means they had about 56 to win in 23 balls.
Yeah, I mean, he had to go right from the start. And it's very difficult. Some days it comes off, most days it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations. Look, I wouldn't judge Tewatia at all in this. I would judge Sharfain and to a certain extent Shahrukh Khan, and I'd say they did pretty well under the circumstances. Given what the targets they had, the way they kept the run rate under control for a very long time, they kept it in that 15-16. It could have easily shot up to 20. They held it together till the last 5, and then chance plays a huge factor in this. That's the advantage of scoring 236 because you have so many runs, one good over. 5-run over, 1 wicket down or 2 wickets down, immediately the game run rate's gone up to 20. So these are difficult circumstances. You're always against the clock. You're always against the run rate.
Maybe I'm being a bit unfair. Arshad Khan in at 7, lasted only 3 balls, but would you have maybe sent Rashid Khan in instead?
We were talking about that when he walked out there, and from here, because we're sort of biased towards what we've seen, recency bias and knowledge of him whacking it, we would say that. But I don't see and don't think that you'd make that as an error if the guy you're sending in is unable to hit boundaries. And his strike rate came up as a, 146 or 145, so clearly he's able to whack him. And just like we're saying of Tewatia, just like happened to Rashid, it's not so easy to walk in and just whack it out the ground. And that's where they kind of fell down. Think back to the time that Sharfain Rutherford goes out, and as he walks out, he is visibly irate, right? Is distraught actually with himself, because on another day, particularly with where that ball was and where he's trying to hit it, any more of the bat on it and it goes for 6, and that's generally where he hits it for 6, leg side, just kind of helping it on its way. And if he does, whilst we all sat there and they were batting together, we didn't think anything other than they're just going to get over the line here. It's looking too easy for them. But it changes that quickly with the loss of a wicket.
It was an 86-run partnership, and that's when Rutherford fell, and he had just looked like he was getting into big hitting zone, 3 6s already. If he hadn't gotten out then, who knows? He might have perhaps taken the game away.
No, I think he would have taken the game away. If Shahrukh and Rutherford had stuck around for 3 more overs, the game was done. The game was done. It's just that he got out at the wrong time, and the moment you get out, these are big wickets. They're game-changing wickets at that point. And again, what are we saying? Any batter who's in for 25 balls, 30 balls, he knows what the pitch is about. He knows what it's playing. He knows exactly how fast the ball's coming onto you. He understands the conditions. He's set. His eye is set. These things make a huge difference. For a guy to walk in there and bat exactly in the same way is almost impossible.
And it's not even to say that, it's injudicious the way he goes out or the shot that he takes on. No, it's not. It's an impure strike at a time where he needs to be striking, right? And just that mishit at the wrong time, and that's the end of that.
Now, post-game, the captain Shubman Gill said runs from Shahrukh and Rutherford a huge positive. True, because once Butler goes, these runs will perhaps give them a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I think it does. And they haven't. We've been talking about it for a long time, that their middle has not been undercooked. Not because, they're necessarily doing badly, they're just not having opportunities because the top three are doing so well.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for them to, really see their middle order. And I thought their middle order held up pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, my big worry actually would be Rashid Khan. Because I felt that was the one thing that the bowling in that middle overs, Sai Kishore, sometimes it's going to be the kind of spinner that he is. He's going to be collared once in a while. Yeah. But Rashid was a metronome. Rashid was a banker for them. And I just think he looked very out of touch today.
They were 97 for 1 LSG at the 10-over mark. And so conceding 138 in the back 10, that's where the real problem is, because this loss is not a batting failure by any stretch. 202 is pretty good on any day from the batters.
Yeah, as a chase, it's not bad. As Joy said, I don't think they were far away.
Yeah.
In the bowling stakes, that's probably where they'll feel they had the off day. We said at the halfway stage. Yeah. If you look at GT as a side, whilst you might rave about the fact that Sudarshan and Gill and Butler are going well, Rutherford as well in the course of the season, actually it's their bowling group that you would talk about, and Prasid, Siraj was good again today. But what didn't happen today for them, which has happened all the way through the season, is that the likes of Siraj and Prasid didn't get wickets up at the front. Yeah. And so having not got wickets up at the front, it meant that for a prolonged period, LSG just kept going in terms of boundary hitting. Marsh all the way through gets 100, and with him and the way that he bats, it then meant that they got a whole lot of runs. So it's the bowling side of things when you look at things today and you go, well, which didn't quite go right. Yeah. I think it's more the bowling side than you look at the batting side.
Also, the combination, Joy, that they've used thus far largely is 6 batters, Rashid batting 1 spot higher. It's worked for them very well so far. Only their 3rd loss, that's one. And they've got 1 league game left. In fact, it's their 4th loss. They've got 1 league game left. You look at maybe giving Rashid a bit of a break because they have a lot of other options. They've got Washington Sundar sitting on the sides. They've got Jayant Yadav as well. So would you say give your premier bowler Rashid a bit of a break so that he's fresh and ready for the playoffs? Or would you say no, our best 11 plays?
I think my sense is that the way they look at him, he's a talisman player. He's their most expensive player, if you remember. After when they retained him as the most expensive. Yeah. I think he's too big a player for them to drop because it's also a matter of his confidence. So Rashid Khan is a kind of player, and we've seen a lot of him over the years. Unless Rashid Khan says, I want a break, don't give him a break. Because he's a competitor, he'll feel you don't want him to switch off. He's the kind of guy who'll say, 1 bad match, I'll bounce back. He's that kind of, he's a competitor, he's a fiery guy. So unless Rashid Khan comes to Ashish Nehra and says, you know what, just give me a match off, I need to just reset, I would never do it.
Yeah, on a day where all of the bowling hasn't gone particularly, it's only one guy who's gone really well.
Sure.
You'd be loath to pick out one of those bowlers and decide they're the ones that haven't gone. Also, in thinking about your teams, you've got to think about what it is that they produce as the best of them, particularly as you go towards the crunch games, right? Because essentially you want one thing that changes the course of a game from each of them, and more than likely, if each of them produce something like that, then you win the game. So who is likely in your group when you put it together to produce something like that? And yes, many of them are because they're champions, but you don't want to have that sitting on the sideline. You want to make sure they're on the park because it shifts the game towards.
Now, in a high-scoring game like this, it's very often that on a bowling card you will see one bowler stand out, and tonight it's Will O'Rourke, 4 overs, 7 dot balls, 27 for 3, and he wasn't even in the scheme of things until a few days ago. So good to see a new foreign bowler come in and do well in a crunch game like this.
No, absolutely. I mean, he's troubled India in the past, and he has the he has the size, he has the bounce, he has the ability, and see, sometimes that's what you need. It's again, what happens is that he's not played a lot of the tournament. He's mentally very fresh.
Sure.
2 is that they haven't really scouted him before. They haven't seen videos of him. They're not used to him. So it's again something that they need getting used to.
Yeah.
And very often that impact is very immediate. And I think he's taken a good opportunity. Yeah. And he's shown perhaps that, these players can't be retained perhaps I think late in the auction. No, he can, because he's been taken before the break happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I was Lucknow, I'd look at definitely at retaining him. He looks like to be a talent for me.
Today, though, with 235 on the board, I suppose the bowlers felt enough confidence going into the second innings, and those runs were enabled by their Aussie star opener, Mitchell Marsh, who is our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas, Shahrukh, Kam Zyada, top innings, top of the order.
Oof, superb. 10 fours, but those 8 sixes, I mean, he's just such a powerful hitter down the ground. And we keep saying that, fitness, circumstances, injuries, these have all cost him. Yeah. But remember, the 2021 World Cup, literally he carried Australia on his shoulders. Yeah. That first T20 World Cup win, he carried Australia on his shoulders. Yeah. And I think he's that kind of player. So when Lucknow took him, and they didn't pay much for him, I think it was 3.4 or 3.6 crore rupees, which is not very much. But if 3.4, 3.6, if he gives you 12, 13 games a season, he is a match winner. He's an absolute steal. And I think the way he batted today down the ground, and he made a very fair point. I mean, when Pommie was saying that any Western Australian will really be able to pull and cut because of the bounce in the old ground.
Yeah.
So, they don't bowl to him in that places, which is why he needs to hit straight. And it's such a lovely point.
This is only LSG's 4th season, but in any season, he is LSG's second highest run scorer, 560 this season, first 100 by a foreigner. Also, the fact that he isn't bowling perhaps helps him focus more physically, mentally. Could that be the case as well with Mitchell Marsh?
Yeah, physically, the fact that he doesn't have to, I think it works brilliantly. I think also there's some players who teams might have stayed away from without the impact rule. Like and I think Joy was making the point before about him being injured. So let's not speak just from a perspective of the guys playing and then getting injured, but then as you go along and you're trying to make up your squads, if you're picking players and their history says, you know what, if we pick this guy and he's going to be an all-rounder for us, it's going to be a bit of a gamble because we don't know how long it's going to last in the course of the season. Yeah. It serves to disrupt your squad rather than kind of helping it. And with the impact player rule, actually you can now go to those players because you like some quality that they have. Yeah. And in Mitchell Marsh, his power, his big hitting, and the fact that he now bats right at the top of the order, that's appealing to a team. And LSG have used that brilliantly. And should they want to use it in a way that, you just bat and you can sit on the side when we bring in the impacts up, works well, especially if he's getting hundreds for you.
Potential LSG captain in the future if they have to let Pant focus on batting? No?
No chance.
No chance. My sense is Zach has sat in these chairs many times. Zach must have said, you don't field. You don't do anything to it. Don't dive, don't field.
Just bat.
Run round the boundary, give water, which he did, giving Gatorade and water. Yeah. Please do that. Do not injure yourself. Just bat. Every third innings, if you give us, one good innings, you're done for the season.
And please keep hitting it further and further.
Yeah, 560, that's it. Yeah. We don't need anything more from you.
With one more game to go.
Yeah. And no question, captaincy, they don't want him to do anything but bat. Not field, not bowl, not walk out of the stadium, nothing. Just sit here, not go back to Australia, just sit here and bat for us.
Sign, seal.
It's another subject. Captaincy, how is he going to be captain? They have a captain. And that captain ain't going nowhere.
All right, so the message is very clear. It's loud and clear. Just bat, stay cool, and with runs like these, continue to be coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas, Shahrukh, Kam Zyada. Now, we've got to take a look at the points table because LSG may not qualify, but they can make life difficult. They have beaten the Gujarat Titans, who were hoping for a top two finish. That plan may have been disturbed slightly. A lot will rest on Gujarat's last game. Remember, Lucknow played their last game against the team at number 2, Joy, Bengaluru.
Yep.
That game is in Lucknow.
That game is in Lucknow, and that will be a very interesting game because let's just look at the points table because it also depends on what matches you have left. So at this point, Gujarat's last match is against CSK. Okay. Bengaluru have 2 games left. So Bengaluru plays Sunrisers, and Bengaluru after that, Bengaluru plays Lucknow.
LSG, yeah.
LSG.
Yeah.
Those are 2 matches they have. Punjab obviously play Mumbai, and Punjab play Delhi.
Yeah.
And Mumbai just play
Punjab.
Punjab.
So the point is, Mumbai can get to 18. Punjab has 2 shots to get to 20. Okay?
21.
Sorry, they have 2 shots to get. They have a shot at
They have
getting at
2
19
shots to get to 19.
to 19.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
19 ensures that they'll stay ahead of
Mumbai.
Yeah.
But then those 2 can get away. So for there to be a serious chance for Mumbai to get there is very, very difficult now under the circumstances because Mumbai has to win theirs.
Yeah.
Hope Punjab loses their other one as
DC.
well. And anyway, Punjab will not matter because they will not take them above 19. Then hope that
RCB lose to LSG.
LSG and they lose, Gujarat lose their last match to CSK as well.
There's
So
a
they
lot
need a
going
lot
on.
of things to happen there.
There's a lot going on.
So for Mumbai to reach top 2 is very, very difficult under the circumstances.
Between Punjab and Bengaluru, who is more likely to
2?
finish in the top 2 for you?
More likely.
Bengaluru, or are they playing out? They're playing after a long time, so maybe searching for rhythm, perhaps.
Listen, more likely, I don't know under, what criteria for more likely, but I tell you this, that they have as much chance as each other because of the way they're playing. As I look at it, if we're to pick out which the teams were that were playing particularly well, Punjab, certainly one of those teams that we're looking at, we're thinking they're dangerous. RCB, the fact, you know what, it might be, and apart from the weather, it's a blessing in disguise that they get moved from the Chinnaswamy to go and play somewhere else because playing them anywhere else has been difficult for absolutely everybody. They've not lost away from home. So whilst people are there going, oh, no, you want them to be playing at home. No, you don't actually. If you're an RCB fan, you want them to play somewhere else because they've found it more comfortable. It's been easier to read. And it's also been a case of not a case of when you lose the toss, try and do too much in batting first at the Chinnaswamy without knowing what a good first inning score is. So, yeah, they've looked a good side, and particularly away from home. It's difficult to separate them. As Joyce says, there's so much to happen, but there's a whole lot of jeopardy on it because these 4 teams that have made it into the qualifiers are actually teams we can't quite separate, right? Because of how well they've gone in the season. That's a good thing.
And it's tougher for all of you guys and girls who are hoping for or gunning for that big cash prize on Cricbuzz 11. Remember, tomorrow RCB ASRH, and that means you have a chance to get your teams ready. The total prize money is 2.2 CR. And remember, if you're a first-time user, you get a free entry. So get your phones, get your phones updated and get that app updated on your phone. Download now and get ready to play. Right, Lucknow will see another top 2 aspirant, RCB, in action against the already eliminated Sunrisers Hyderabad. Bengaluru last took the field on the 3rd of May. That's when they won. They're coming off a series of wins. Very high on confidence, but perhaps a touch rusty. They haven't been on the field for a while.
I mean, we were saying the same thing about Mumbai, that they were a touch rusty and they didn't look rusty.
They weren't, yeah.
So it's one of those things. Sometimes a break rejuvenates you. Yeah. I think that's the point, that the important thing for Bengaluru is to be able to win this match and put it away because they're also in 17. The big clash then becomes Punjab versus Mumbai.
Yeah.
Because if Punjab lose against Mumbai, then RCB will be fairly sure that they have a much easier chance to win through.
Right, let's take a look at the squad. Phil Salt is very much there. Kohli's runs are a big plus. Tim David finishing well, and then there's Shepherd as well. Who bats at number 3 for you in this lineup, Mr. Mbangwa?
Virat Kohli bats with Salt, and I wonder if Agarwal actually does come in and play. In thinking about that, he comes in as a replacement. Remember that he came on as he might come in and play. I don't think it'd be such a bad call to have him come in and bat at number 3.
Yep.
And they want to elongate that. It's unfortunate for Devdutt Padikkal that he's injured. He just found some form and was going quite nicely. They also won't be happy to lose him, particularly with that form. But I don't think they would like to disrupt the way that things were going. So everybody else will kind of stay in their positions, and it was working quite well. And Agarwal, he's experienced, been around a long time, played for India, talented guy. It's an opportunity for him as well. And in this time where they haven't played, they've probably practiced quite a bit.
Yeah.
And there'd have been a whole lot of time for him to kind of get into his work somewhat. It's difficult to simulate playing conditions, but as I say, he has the experience, and so he'll be champing at the bit to make sure that he gets in and makes some sort of an impact.
I totally agree. The big thing you were saying is, I'm a set team. Exactly like all the top teams are now set. You see Mumbai, you know who's going to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because a player is injured at 3, the moment I try and say, I'm going to shift people upwards or downwards, I've destroyed all the carefully laid sort of harmony that I have. So I'll do nothing. I'll take out Padikkal, put in Mayank Agarwal and say, everything, business as usual. Let's get on with it.
Hazelwood isn't back yet, and that means an opportunity for SRH. And their batters did a fair job in that last game. The other good piece of news for SRH is that Travis Head will be in action, Joy.
I think Travis Head needs to be in action. It'll be interesting because I think Abhishek Sharma really got runs, really got going finally. And I think what he did last match showed you how destructive they can be, because though he got out at 59, what he had done is he had made a mockery of the chase. And he brought the target down to such a level, then after that they could afford to cruise. And I think that's why they need Head again back, and they'll want to give something to their fans. They'll also want to show that, because remember, all these guys are also playing for next year. All of them. Please don't forget that retention is it depends on the franchise, not on the player. So it's a one-way decision. A franchise can decide to retain or not retain you. A player has no choice. So you want to impress those guys out there.
I love that.
Sure.
Yeah, I love that, because we have our mole here who has been right in the system, so he's well aware of all of that. And many times, many people are sort of always asking that question out. And you might even say of a guy who's done half decently, why wouldn't they retain him with all that talent? And it's purely a decision on the planning of the franchise. And so, there's always something to play for.
Does Shami come back in against a very dangerous RCB batting lineup? Shami versus Virat will be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think Shami playing in UP, I mean, that's his home state. He's from Moradabad. I would throw Shami back just to see where he is. And they need to have a very good look at him before next year. Because they want to see where his fitness is at. Is he ready? Is he going to be this thing? I would throw Shami in definitely, because he's a classy bowler. This is a match where they have nothing to lose. I want him to go and do something.
How about the pace-off variety of someone like a Jaydev Unadkat who's joined the squad?
Yes, back. Many choices. Who plays will just simply be according to what their preference is and what they might be discussing within the squad on the day. Looking at kind of next year or next season, in that regard, with these experienced bowlers, they'll know who they want and who they don't. And a year is a long time, particularly with the more experienced players. So you kind of have to wait and be closer to the time to see what's happening, what they're up to post here, rather than right now. So I think more along the lines of, here's your home state, you play because you're at home and you're the big dog here. That's the way you'd go.
There is also the other option of adding some more leg spin variety of Rahul Chahar against Virat Kohli. That could be a matchup as well. Lots to think about, lots of matchups. Remember, RCB haven't yet lost an away game this season. This one is, of course, against the SRH at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow. Players to watch out for. One each.
Okay, I'm going to take a left field one for SRH. I'm going to go Zishan Ansari.
Nice.
Because again, you know what his home team is in the UP franchise. It's the Lucknow Falcons.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd like to see him bowl well. And if I'm looking from the other side, which is the RCB side, I'd want Mayank Agarwal to have a good hit, because I think if Mayank Agarwal somehow can get 30-40, do well out there, a lot of their headaches would be gone out.
Yeah, Phil Salt and Abhishek Sharma.
Good choices. Remember these names when you get your teams ready on Cricbuzz 11. If you don't have that app, that's what you need on your phone right away. Total prize money of 2.2 crores. And if you're a first-time user, you get free entry. No free passes for all those hoping to win the Joy Factor. What's the question once again, Joy?
Okay, just take a look. It's an interesting one. Two players have opened 119 times. That's a lot of times across white ball internationals for their country. They've opened together. However, though they've spent 3 seasons in the same team in the I-20 League, that means not necessarily one team, but in 2 separate teams they've played together in over 3 seasons. They've never opened together. Just name them.
Aussie?
Go on.
Warner?
And?
Finch?
Lovely, lovely. Let's take a look at the answer. Well done, Manish. Well done. Finch and David Warner, who played together for Delhi, they played together for SRH, but they never, because Delhi, if you remember, Sehwag used to be there. SRH, you always had Shikhar Dhawan there. So they never, though Finch and Warner were one of the most prolific opening players in white ball history, they've never opened together for a franchise.
Mine was a fluke, got to tell you that. Just took a chance, nothing to lose. But who's that one lucky winner who got it right? Let's bring up that name. Abhishek Porumamilla. Regular?
No, I haven't seen the name before. Well done, Abhishek.
Well done. Ali bajao.
Nice one, Abhi.
And where are we going next? Where are we going next? We did rather well today.
What's that?
You got one right. Guessing game?
Yeah, I got one right after a long time, so it's a huge relief for me. But it still just kept me.
As in scores?
Yeah.
All right, I see.
Bring it up to see if Mr. Mbangwa's position on that table is looking any better, is it? Oh, at number 3, sir.
He's creeping up there.
Well done.
Okay, I just want to tell the producer that Karthik's head is still the same size. Remember, we had made a deal that every match we'll increase it slightly, like a balloon.
Is he in tomorrow?
What?
I want to know if he is in tomorrow. Is he?
I think he is in tomorrow. You haven't increased it. Has it not been increased?
No, it has not been increased.
That's impossible for it to stay that
I'm going to write
side.
to the producers again.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I saw Pommie taking new pictures in his lovely jacket today. I think he's getting ready to be top of the table to get his picture up there.
Yeah, you need to have a nice,
nice stance.
Yeah. And Karthik and you next to each other. It's going to be the battle of 1 versus 2. Or what is it? 3?
3.
1 versus 3. Is Gaurav in tomorrow? No, Gaurav is not in tomorrow. Then it would have been 1, 2 and 3 on the same
I think
table.
Saimi is in tomorrow. One of our other scholars.
We prefer Siam.
Because she doesn't.
Oh, shots have been fired. Shots have been fired. Shots have been fired.
It took him exactly 4 hours to do so. The reason he said this is because Sammy doesn't talk about Manchester United. Maybe she will tomorrow. I will send her the match review of that Europa League final. But
okay,
Pommie,
done. That's it. It's over.
No? These kids. Anyway, we have a lot more to do, but all that's off camera. We've got some kulfi arriving for our guests because I've been a bit mean to them, so I think I owe him a treat. Right? Joy?
I'm going back to Delhi. I've had it. I've had it with these guys. You guys, the way you talk, I can't bear this anymore. I'm going back.
But not without Joy Factor questions.
Oh, Joy Factor. You guys make me work even when I'm not here.
All right, we will of course have Joy Factor tomorrow and Saimi here in this very chair. So do join her on Voltas presents Cricbuzz live at 7 p.m. Bye-bye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
नेताजी भवन कृपया ध्यान दें